The Redditors revolted. They got mad. The Reddit Tea Party commenced. But at long last, the revolution failed, and now Reddit is right back where it started. So, what even happened? Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Tom Dark channel. I'm your host, Tom Dark, and last week, Reddit got into some trouble with a subset of its own users. Here we have an infographic titled Operation Raise It. Maybe Razz It? I don't fucking know. And we can see a basic plan laid out here. Basic plan: stop using Reddit, start using alternative platforms, migrate your content, posts, comments, etc. to those platforms. If you're a mod, coordinate with your community to migrate your subreddit to another site, replace your content in Reddit with gibberish, and keep protesting. They even have a tutorial here with how to replace Reddit posts with gibberish as a method to get people to leave the site. But why do all these people want to leave Reddit? Reddit is like the biggest forum host in the world. They have millions and millions of users, thousands of communities. It's been the biggest of its kind for I want to say 10 years now. Why would anyone want to leave? Well, there's a long post linked in this infographic that gives an explanation, which I assume many of the boycotting Redditors would agree with. In April 2023, Reddit announced it's moving its API to a paid model, so to use, you'd need to pay for it. The platform promised reasonable prices, unlike Twitter. However, in June, Reddit revealed those prices, and they're insane. For example, the Apollo dev would need to pay to Reddit Inc. $20 million a year. But it isn't just Apollo. None of the other third-party apps can afford such prices. This negatively affects the third-party app users, who are a big chunk of the Reddit user base, potentially the majority. That's because most Reddit users are on mobile, the official app sucks, and Reddit aggressively pushes users out of its own mobile site. Blind users are specifically affected. The official app doesn't work with text-to-speech, but plenty of third-party apps do. Reddit is telling us blind users, we don't care about you, even after so many lying claims to fight against exclusion and discrimination. And even if Reddit backpedaled a bit and claimed accessibility apps would be exempt from the exorbitant API access costs, that only applies to non-profit ones. Apparently, Reddit Incorporated thinks app devs don't need money to eat and live. That change also affects moderators directly, as they rely on third-party apps to moderate subreddits. Reddit threw a bone at them too, saying that third-party mod tools would have free API use. Plenty of those mod tools are in third-party apps that would not be exempt from the chopping. In turn, less mod tools equals more junk in Reddit. It is not just about shitpost, but spam and sometimes outright illegal stuff. Those unpaid volunteers are the reason why you don't see drug selling or CP in the platform. Plus, would you moderate for free in a site that doesn't care about you and outright removes your ability to moderate in the first place? Users started protesting against the platform and its company. In special, moderators locked down 8,000 subreddits in protest between June 12th and June 14th. Plenty of those subreddits will keep the protests indefinitely, or until Reddit forces the subreddits to open against the wishes of the ones managing them. In the meantime, all the answers coming from the company and its CEO and founder, user/spez, Steve Huffman, have been dismissive of the company. Some are even insulting. It is clear that Reddit is a lost cause. It hasn't been the first time that the platform bites the hand of its own community, and it will not be the last. It's time to go away and to raise the ground behind. So why is Reddit doing this big change? First reason, because they want to data mine users and show them a lot of advertisements, and they can only reliably do it through their official app. But since that app sucks, lots of people use third-party apps. And a good way to kill those third-party apps, while claiming, no, we're just doing business, is to demand exorbitant prices for them to operate. Second reason, large language model, or LLM for short. There are big businesses out there willing to pay Reddit for API access, even at exorbitant prices, so they can use the content of your posts and comments to train bots. You'll get nothing from this, by the way. At the end of the day, everything is related to the IPO, initial public offering, when the shareholders of a company allow the public to buy its shares. The current shareholders and CEO want to make Reddit look profitable in the short term, and they're willing to destroy the value of the site in the long term to do so. So basically, this comes down to a few things to summarize. API just means application programming interface. It's basically a way for two programs or apps to communicate with each other. Reddit is now going to charge people who want to use Reddit data for their own businesses, like a third party like Reddit accessing app, right? For example, recently Reddit was used to train stuff like ChatGPT. Now that's not going to be free. The Reddit CEO, Steve Huffman, and the other higher-ups recognize how valuable Reddit data is. One of the biggest swaths of user-generated content of all time, which is constantly updating thanks to their user base, is Reddit. He actually talked about this to the New York Times, where he said, the Reddit corpus of data is really valuable. More than any other place on the internet, Reddit is a home for authentic conversation. There's a lot of stuff on the site that you'd only ever say in therapy, or AA, or never at all. But we don't need to give all that value to some of the largest companies in the world for free. Now, believe it or not, as big as the site is, in its current state, Reddit is not profitable. And keep in mind, all the users who use it for free. The only way they can really make money right now, as far as I know, is through advertising. So this is a move to get closer to breaking even, right? To get closer to making money. money. The Redditors are mad about this change because some of them, this post claims most, but I honestly don't believe that, use third-party apps to go on Reddit rather than their official mobile app off the App Store or Google Play. With the price of the API now, it would be tough for these third-party companies to stay afloat, as it costs money, right? They also claim it would be harder for blind users to use Reddit as well, because there's no official text-to-speech on Reddit, and they have to use third-party apps. Now the third-party apps are going to have to pay Reddit, which apparently they can't afford. It would also make moderating subs more difficult due to the new API price, because a lot of people will use third-party apps to moderate Reddit en masse. Reddit promises new mod tools. The mods don't seem that confident that they'll be good. But despite this boycott, which involved everything laid out in the infographic from the beginning of this video, Reddit higher-ups and Huffman don't seem too phased. They don't seem worried about it. They don't seem to even be batting an eye. They're like, I don't give a shit. They're going to do what they're going to do. We're going to continue doing our thing. And as long as we weather the storm, Reddit as a whole will be fine. And to be honest, so far, they seem to have been right. Unpaid volunteers who moderate the communities claim that Reddit admins have been removing moderators who support the protests in order to force the subreddits to reopen. One moderator of r/gaming also claimed the defiant stance was a response to Reddit chief executive Steve Huffman, claiming that the protest will pass. In an internal memo to staff this week, Mr. Huffman reportedly referred to the blackout as noise, despite more than 8,000 communities initially taking part on Monday. Please know that our teams are on it, and like all blow-ups on Reddit, this one will pass as well, he wrote, according to The Verge. We absolutely must ship what we said we would. The only long-term solution is improving our product, and in the short term, we have a few upcoming critical mod tool launches we need to nail. And I mean, on one hand, you have to sympathize with these users, but at the same time, if the website isn't profitable and charging for API access is like one of the main ways to make money that they're not cashing in on, and you blame them that much, I mean, their most valuable asset is definitely their data from user-generated posts, right? And if services like ChatGPT want to use Reddit to butter their bread, why shouldn't the source itself be able to recoup some of that? Now, it would be nice if Reddit themselves would, fill in a lot of these issues like, let's say, better mod tools or, a good text-to-speech program that will help blind users. That would be nice. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like they're going to do that right away. A lot of subs did, in fact, shut down in protest, including r/Pokemon, r/anime, and many others. r/Pokemon decided to post a statement outlining why they're making this decision to go private, and many other subs did, basically the same. On May 31st, Reddit announced an API policy change that threatens to kill not only third-party apps, but also myriad accessibility and moderation features that aid us in defending against spam and hate. On June 9th, there was an AMA with the Reddit CEO about the changes. As a mod team, we typically steer clear of site-wide protests. We value r/Pokemon as a space for people to find community, safe space, and escapism from issues outside Pokemon, the games, the franchise. After significant discussion, however, a strong majority of the team has voted to go dark. That the API changes will have a deeply adverse impact on r/blind and blind users on Reddit generally is particularly resonant from r/Pokemon, as we consider the facts that mainline Pokemon games have become increasingly accessible to visually impaired players. We recognize that accessibility is important to our community and is therefore important to us. On June 12th, many subreddits will be going dark to protest this policy change. Some will return after 48 hours, others will go away permanently unless the issue is adequately addressed. r/Pokemon will assess whether or not to sustain the blackout depending on the admin response. Despite this, the boycott really just lasted a total of 48 hours for most subs, and the basic conclusion from everyone on and off Reddit is that it was a failure. The Reddit blackout is cool, but they shouldn't just undo it in 2 days. That's literally going to change nothing. Turn the shit off till the company does something about it. That's an actual boycott. And during the blackout itself, admins also apparently began replacing mods and forcibly reopening subs. There are also some pretty sad posts like this where people talk about how Reddit is all they have. This one is so bad it has to be parody. I mean, it could be real, but there's just no way, right?
Please don't ignore me. I'm disabled. I have no job. I don't meet people. I have no money. I only have Reddit. Please don't take Reddit from me. I'm so sorry. Please don't hurt me like this.
This is good to laugh at, but if this is a real person, like they seriously need help, man. I fucking feel bad for this person. They're down bad. Some subs like Pokemon are still private, but if I had to guess, the vast majority of Redditors don't actually care about the API situation and are just on Reddit to post memes without any ideological attachment to the site. And so as a result, I don't think this will go much of anywhere. Anyway, that's about it. Leave a like if you liked it, dislike if you disliked it, and drop a comment down below in the comments section if you have anything to share about all of this. Follow my Instagram, TomButDark, for funny pictures, I guess, and I'll see you all later. Bye, guys. Video tomorrow. Bye. As always, yeah.